前は俺を殺すべきだったんだよ。
わからない。わからないのよ。
ならいい。お前が救ってくれないなら。
Hello everybody, MechaZard here, back at it again to give you another very exciting video, and for today I'm going to be reviewing ReZero Episode 7 called Friend. And if you haven't already done so, you can go ahead and click that card in the corner to check out my Episode 6 review if you just so happen to miss it, and then bounce back over and watch this one though. But man, I gotta say with this one, goodness, relationships, because that was just the central theme about this whole episode, and hence why the whole episode was called Friend, because we, right off the bat, you just got to see some really emotional moments from Beatrice, which honestly, for the most part, she was sort of kind of standoffish, kind of like always alone to herself, kind of always, locked in, almost like a shut-in, but sort of kind of not, I don't know. Essentially, but with that curse, maybe that's part to blame with it though. But we got to see some really emotional moments between Subaru and Beatrice right before Subaru died and stuff, and then we got to see Odo come in and try to save the day after Subaru was already captured by Garfiel and whatnot, and him, just saying, "Hey, aren't we friends or whatever?" Like, I'm always willing to stick my neck out for you. There was just a lot of different stuff like that within the episode though that just made it really good, and then applying the little bit of lore that's obviously within this series though, there's just a lot to talk about it though. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight up into this episode review of ReZero Season 2. It's always a serious tradition at this point for the people who once tried to kill Subaru to become his greatest allies. Odo snagged that role of MVP this episode with his touching declaration of friendship, even in the face of self-preservation and greed. He sure has came a long way since the first time he pushed Subaru off on the road in front of the white whale that happened way back in season 1. Like, to think that, he was just willing to, throw him out there just so he can manage to save and live a little bit longer, to the point where now he's doing the saving for Subaru. I mean, definitely in terms of his character, he has certainly came a long way. Now, jumping back towards the very beginning of the episode, there was that intriguing opening scene with Beatrice, which is causing me to look back on all the Subaru and Beatrice's interactions so far. When Beatrice reveals that she has only ever acted according to what the gospel, suspiciously similar to what of the witches called archbishops carry around, tells her, her conflicted expression indicates that may not be the whole entire story. When Subaru tries to kill himself in front of her and she panics, I found myself recalling that scene in season 1, episode 17, where after a failed attempt at saving Amelia, he pathetically asked Beatrice to kill him and she is too upset to comply. She is clearly torn all the while, and when she's finally alone, she laments to Mother. Now here's what I think. Beatrice had her agency stripped from her due to whatever oath she has with Mother. She wants Subaru to break her out of her shell, but she is also afraid. She might have a duty to help him out, but she is kind to him because she too considers him her friend. But perhaps she does not realize this herself. She is unfamiliar with friendship, and Subaru is the person she is learning it from. And since Subaru shows this episode that he is also the kind of person who doesn't recognize friendship until it yells at him in the face, the relationship between him and Beatrice remains rocky and complicated. Speaking of rocky relationships, we learned that the source of Garfiel's grudge against Frederica is abandonment issues because she was able to lead the sanctuary and he isn't. It turns out that they have different fathers, so Frederica has less, beast blood than, he does. And Garfiel has emerged as a proper antagonist now, and it's been confirmed that the source of his hostility towards Subaru is the witch's scent. But I can't help but get the impression that he's misguided rather than evil. And I mean, really, like, you know, we got to see how buddy Subaru and Garfiel got to be within earlier episodes, though. But as each episode passed and as he keeps doing these redos, it's starting to, you know, have a sour turn, and hence why, you know, Garfiel threw him up in the dungeon like that, though. But I think it's just all misguided, but he's trying to do something for the greater good. So he's not necessarily evil, so to say. For all of this anger, I sense a kind of, you know, vulnerability in him. Now, Ryuzu, though, yeah, I'm suspicious of her. And I didn't bring this up, you know, when she was first introduced, because she didn't have, you know, much of a presence in the plot back then. But now that she's, you know, actively interfering with Subaru, I think it's time for me to mention that I've had some suspicions about her since the moment I saw her. I mean, a red flag automatically got to go up from the moment that you hear about this, you know, this girl that looks kind of young, that got some years on her. We're talking about some like several years. We ain't talking about no tens, we ain't talking about the hundreds, but potentially them thousands. And it's like, oh, no. Like, she didn't even want to hardly talk about her age. So something right there, it was just like an instant red flag for me, though. But the matter of fact, she's so quiet, so reserved, and doesn't really say a whole bunch, though, until, you know, when it's actually important for her to say something. I don't know, this is a certain kind of omen that she kind of gives off, where I'm like, okay, you know what, something ain't right about you just yet. Either you're hiding stuff from us, or you could be an antagonist in disguise. But we'll have to go a little bit further on within the series in order to figure out all of that, though. This season is hitting its stride as the mysteries deepen and the bonds between people are tested. By pairing each and every one of their mysteries with strong emotional themes like friendship and family, the mysteries have become more satisfying to unravel. And I'm really looking forward to what's to come in the next episode. But that's all I basically have to say within this week's review of ReZero, though. But y'all gotta let me know down in the comment section down below, what all do you think about this episode? And, you know, what do you think about Odo being like the MVP and being the one that actually saved Subaru from the dungeon after our good buddy Garfiel, who now is basically turned into like a sour apple, locked them in there to begin with, though. And then, more interestingly enough for me, is that interaction between Subaru and Beatrice right before he died and he had to restart again. Like, what is up with that? And, you know, what is really the kind of secrets that Beatrice is sort of kind of holding from herself, holding to herself, and not really, you know, giving that information to Subaru? And who's this mother that she always keeps referring to? And why does she have such a close bond with that book from the witch's cult like that? Like, I don't know, there's just something about her story, and hopefully we're going to figure out more about it, you know, as we go along within the series, though. But, you know, a lot of questions are rising, and I just need all these answers now. But we're going to have to slowly put this puzzle together, though. But that's all I have to say about this review, though. So if you really like this review, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things ReZero that is happening this season, though. So make sure to tune into my channel for my next episode review over episode 8, called A Value of Life. So remember, y'all, until whatever video I make next, see y'all.
夏希さん、
悪かった。お前は俺の友達だよ、夫。助けに来てくれてありがとう。